VO in Stereo is sponsored by Bodalgo, international voice acting platform. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of VO in Stereo. It's going to be a good one. I feel it. As always, I'm your host, Jared Breshers, along with Mr. Stephen Coghill.
Hello.
Today, I'm just going to start off by saying it. You've heard this guy a lot. You've heard him on such the voices as such brands as Bosch, Porsche, Audi, Spotify, PlayStation, just to name a few. It's my great pleasure to introduce professional Portuguese, English, Spanish voice actor, Humberto Franco.
Hey, guys.
Woo! Welcome, man. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you for having time.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much.
Well, as always, I'm going to throw it over to Steven and let him start off with a couple questions first. But again, man, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure. You've always been a shining light. I mean, every time I'm around you, anytime I pass you, I'm like, ooh, I just got them shooting through me. So, Steven, take it from there, buddy.
I like Jared's new setup. It looks nice. He was a floating head before. You could that black background, a black shirt. All you could see was this head, like.
But it was very thinning.
It's true. It's much. I like it better now. Anyway, we can see you. Anyway, I digress considerably. Humberto, thanks for being on. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Stephen.
So my first question, which is my first question for everybody, is where are you from? Where did you grow up?
Well, I was born in the city of Oporto, way up in the north of Portugal, most known by the Oporto wine, which is where all the cellars, the most famous ones are.
I love
it. Has an amazing river, has an amazing river, and has been, for the last couple of years, considered the best European city to be visited. So whenever you have time, just visit Oporto because it's amazing.
I'm ready to go right now.
I'm getting tickets.
But that's where I was born. I lived there until I was 10 years old. And then I moved a little bit further to the south to a city, to a small village close to a city called Aveiro, which is called the Portuguese Venice, because you have channels inside the city where you can, go by boats, visit, and not like the gondolas, but almost the same. It's they have a typical boat called muliceiro. Very nice, very nice.
Sweet. And have you always lived there?
Yeah, until I went to the university. Until I went to the university, I lived there with my grandparents, with my parents and my two siblings. I have a brother and a sister.
That was going to be my next question. You have a brother and a sister. Are you the youngest, the oldest, the middle?
No, I'm the oldest. And as a joke, I say that I was the only one that was planned, because my brother is 10 and a half months younger than me. And my sister is 10 years younger than me. So, yeah, it was fast.
Yeah.
And that they still live down to the south. I came back to the north. I came back to study in Porto again, take my journalism degree. And I stayed around. I live now a little bit above Porto, close to a city called Braga.
Wow.
That just sounds like it's fun to say. Will you say that for me one more time?
Braga.
Oh, like spicy fire on it. Thank you so much.
That's it's called the Archbishop's city. So it has very nice old cathedrals. Well, the birthplace of Portugal is in this area of the north of the country. So you have a lot of history here.
Nice.
And, mountains. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Awesome. And were your how did you become creative? Were your siblings creative, or your parents, or?
No, not well. My sister is, but when I was a kid, I would fall asleep every night singing. I would lie. I loved to draw. I always been like very eager to know how things are made. Every toy that my parents gave me, after a week, they were all in little pieces. I disassembled them and assembled them again, and rarely there was an extra screw there that I didn't know where to put it back. I was very focused, and I always liked communicating with people all the time. I had, like, when I was a teenager, I had a small cassette player, and then I recorded the musics that were playing on the radio, and then I would sing them. So yeah, I was that kind of creative guy.
Nice.
Still today, I like to sing. But
Did
in
you ever
private.
pretend you
In
were like a
private.
DJ and you were like introducing songs on the radio?
Yeah, I worked on radio for 15 years, man.
So see, I mean, as a kid, like that was a big influence, like radio, just in
Yeah.
general, because it was
Yeah,
your primary source of entertainment.
yeah, it was fantastic. And when I was like about 13, 14 in Portugal, there was like the first ever big fair of education, where you would go and there were like like science industry, telecommunications, media, and you would go and see things, and so it would help you decide what to follow in your life. And it was called Forum Student, and it was amazing because there was a national radio station that had a studio there that was transmitting live. And when I saw the guy was dressed, like the cult, all in black, big hat. And I said, man, that's what I want to be. I want to be like that. And
I need a hat.
no, yeah, need a hat.
Pronto.
And I was lucky because 2.5 years later, a friend of mine, we were hanging around, like close to a coffee shop, and he said, man, I have to go and do my radio show. Do you want to come with me? And I said, well, why not? I don't have nothing to do. And man, I fell in love.
Oh man.
Crazy. Yeah. That was the beginning of everything.
So I was going to ask you, like, the moment. It may have been that moment that you just mentioned. Like, what was the moment that you knew that you weren't going to be happy doing anything else, that you were going to chase being a creative for the rest of your life?
Oh man, that was the moment. That was
it.
when I went into the radio station. That there was only vinyl then. There was a big room with all the vinyls, and I started to see, oh man, I can be here enjoying myself, offering to people the sounds that I like. It felt natural, and I can say hi, and I can like joke around, and
Yeah,
and
add your
it was-
personality to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was me. When I opened the mic, that was me, and learning all the processes, like you have to put the vinyl and then just give it a quarter back of a spin, so you can, when you hit the play, it would be on the right
Gonna cue the song
rotation
right up.
speed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Oh man, that was fantastic. I said, I want to do this for the rest of my life. I don't care.
So you
You
love
know.
the technical aspect of it.
Oh God, I loved everything.
So-
Like
so when-
Revox, doing the recordings of publicity on the Revox, and then had to cut the tape and tape it. So, oh God, that
old
was
school. Old
amazing.
school. I
Yeah.
gotcha. And so did they have like programs in school and stuff when you're going to like high school and stuff? Did they have any kind of programs like that you were in, or were you just a normal kind of student?
No, I was no education in Portugal. is basically the same for everyone until you get to the 9th grade. In the 9th grade, you just have to choose. Do you want to go to sport, linguistics, or science? And I went to science. That has nothing to do with my final degree, that is communication. So no, there wasn't any program. It was a local radio station, one of the first to be legal in the country, because you had like 2-3 radio stations nationwide. And I believe that the majority of the radio stations in the United States, it's AM, right? You don't have too many FM radio
There's a
stations.
lot of FM now.
Yeah. When it started out, there was mostly AM, but then
Right.
FM started.
Okay, because here in Portugal, you have now more FM radio stations. And the one that I started to work, by the way, it's called Radio Terra Nova.
Ooh,
Was
say
one
that
of-
again for me.
Radio Terra Nova.
Oh, Humberto.
That was one of the first Portuguese local radio stations to have a license.
Oh,
very
because,
cool.
and it was amazing. It was fantastic. I miss those times.
Yeah. Well,
What made you who you are, which is
Yeah,
awesome.
It's
That's
true.
the one coolest thing about doing this kind of show and these kind of shows. Everyone has a different walk of life, and we get to experience so many beautiful stories. And this is just, it's already so good. And we're only a few minutes in. I'm sorry, keep going.
And one thing that is amazing is that radio station still exists. So I started when I was 15. This month I'll be turning 49, and next weekend I'll be going to my parents to visit them, and I may be calling a friend that is still working there since that time, and we go out for a coffee.
That would be amazing.
that's awesome
is.
to still have that connection.
Yeah, it's true.
That's cool. So you went, so in high school, you kind of picked a science field, but you eventually you hit that radio station and you're like, screw science, I want to do this.
Man,
And so you were in radio and all that stuff. And then did radio just kind of start to tank for you, or what happened that you switched from radio to doing voiceover?
well, it's as soon as I started to do radio, I don't want to study. I want to do this. I just want to go and do radio. I started with a weekly show, and less than a year, I had a daily show. So, it was very fast. And voiceover, the first voiceovers that I did was on the radio, where you do the commercials for the local stores, but I hadn't any idea what voiceover was. Like, you just have to go in and say, this store sells this for this week, next week, new promotions. That's it. That's what you did, and for a long time I did that, until I came to Oporto to study. I started to work in a radio station that only had Latin music, salsa, merengue, and that kind of music. And I got an opportunity through a friend that told me, I have a friend that works in a big, supermarket chain, which ended up being the biggest supermarket chain that exists in Portugal. And, they are looking for someone to do the pack shot of all the local radio stations. Would you be interested? So,
Yes.
yeah, of course. You just have to tell me, what it's like. It's a 5-second thing. You have, on 5 seconds, you have to say, this is going to happen here. That was just it. And I said, okay, let's go for it.
Sign me up.
So, yeah, sign me up. And then, okay, I have to buy a microphone. I have to buy a mixing table. This is back in 2001. So none of the technology that exists today existed then. I didn't know nothing about. I knew about microphones for the radio station, not to have your own studio at home.
Right.
So suddenly I have a batch of 25 recordings to do in a couple of days. So I had to return them in a couple of days, and I still didn't have a mic, no mixing table, and I didn't want it to do it in the radio station because it's like it's my stuff. It's not has nothing to do with the radio. So it was fun. It was fun to do the search because in Oporto there were at the time like two music stores in a city. The second biggest city in Portugal that I knew of, I knew two stores. That's it.
Wow.
So it was crazy, the search, and I didn't buy the best material because I didn't know I didn't know
Right.
better, but it worked. And that was my gig for over a year. So every week I got work on
Awesome.
voiceovers.
I was about to say, you're talking about, replacing not getting the best gear at first. I just think about how many lonely Blue Yeti USB microphones there are in the graveyard.
Oh God.
That's a lot.
No balls.
No balls.
They're not blue anymore.
Nice.
And did you end up? So you got this job and you were doing all these voiceovers. Did you ever get any coaching or any? Did you ever feel like you needed any coaching, or did you just keep going with it, or what happened?
No. I just used basically I used what I heard on the radio, because even I was a DJ on a radio, and in the radio I did everything. I did sound mixing, I did news presentation, I did DJing, everything. I did everything. So, but radio was my world, not even the other radios, because I had a dream. My dream was to be that guy that had the hat and working on that radio station. That was what I really wanted. So I heard radio and you pick up at the beginning. And this is something that I say to people that ask me, what should I do in the beginning of voiceovers? I say, find someone that you like. And if you're going to imitate something, do it well, imitate well, and then find your path. So I started, and I used some things to emulate, to imitate, the style of the read of the publicity, that was my training. And of course I had the people listening, my friends, when they hear, they say, I like that one. I didn't like that much that one. But because I had the recordings, I went back and say, okay, let me hear this.
Yeah, so you figured out what
Self-taught
people
learning.
you figured out what people liked and what they didn't like, and stuck to that.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. And so how did you end up getting like a talent agencies, or how were you getting work, and how were you getting to the next level from doing those small little things?
Okay, in Portugal you have the big studios in Lisbon. We usually say here that in Portugal, Lisbon is Portugal, the rest is countryside, and even nowadays that difference is not that big, but still exists. I had auditions that I had to go to Lisbon to do. So it's a 600-kilometer trip.
Oof.
Going and coming, which is like 400 miles, around that, to do an audition. And at the end of the day, they said, if you were in Lisbon, but I'm not. I don't live in Lisbon. I don't like to live in Lisbon.
Somebody would have caught a pie in the face. That's ridiculous.
You know.
After you make that sacrifice to
Yeah.
go, well, since you drove here, that's not good enough. But if you
Yeah.
were here all the time,
No, I got my first big audition that I ever did was already in 2002. the biggest one that I did. I had to go to Lisbon to audition for the National Geographic Channel, to be the voice of the National Geographic Channel in Portugal. And the owner of the agency told me, like, we liked your voice a lot. We liked your audition a lot, but you live on the other side of the country, and man, that I understand at that time,
Right. But
nowadays doesn't make any sense,
right?
Because everyone is working with this COVID. Everyone is working from home, and there are no distances. I do nowadays. The other day, I did a recording with someone in Germany and a studio in the United States, in New York. So that's not an excuse. But at that time, it was hard, and in Portugal, the VO community, it's not the same as the VO community that I know with you guys, the United States. Like here in Portugal, unfortunately, you have a lot of people that are, I know this job that I don't fit, but I'm gonna keep quiet. I'm not gonna tell anyone. If I don't get it, I'm not give it to anyone. And that's a small mentality, because there's work for everyone. It's less nowadays, but at that time,
Yeah.
for television, there were like 4 or 5 guys doing all the recordings for all the TV channels. It was a very tight group. Nowadays, it's not only 3 or 4, but you have a lot of soap opera actors, cinema actors. So voices that are easily recognized, that have those opportunities, not guys like me. I always wanted to be behind the mic and behind the camera. That's what I like to do. I like to do things I like to go to the coffee shop, and taking my espresso, and on the table just next to me, someone is talking about something they heard on the radio that was my voice, without even having a clue that it's me. I like that. I really like that.
Anonymity. I like that. Something to be said about that. You can go about your business and not be bothered by people.
I'm half and half on that. At the same guy, I'd be at the table going, "Oh, I'm listening to them talk about me," and all of a sudden, I'd be like, "Hey, that's me. Hi, nice to meet you."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a complete freak weirdo. I appreciate it. All right.
But I know everything changed when I went to VO Atlanta. Everything changed. So it was
That's where I met
thing.
There was a whole
That's
other
true.
world that you didn't know existed.
Yeah.
Your keychain thing is still on my camera bag that I take everywhere. The little Humberto's thing is so cute.
Yeah. Now, before I go to VO Atlanta, I had an idea about how the VO world outside Portugal was, because the first person I met online in the VO world was my dearest friend Bev Standing.
Bev.
Interesting.
Amazing person. And she introduced me to other people like Jody Krangle, Patty Bueller, and those 3 are the main responsible for me to go to VO Atlanta, because they were like, during a whole year, you have to come. VO Atlanta is amazing. You have to come. But flying from Portugal to the United States, stay there for a week and fly back, I had to eat and to drink. And the cost was immense.
Yep.
But it was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
The best. Yeah.
I get so tickled when somebody tells me their VO Atlanta stories, because I live 40 minutes away from the conference area.
Yeah.
So every time I said it before in another episode, they're like, "Oh, I came from Portugal. Where'd you come from?" About 30 minutes north of here.
And it was there that I met you. I met your wife, your daughter.
Absolutely.
It was amazing,
We love our Humberto.
And the amazing thing is like, um, I was full gas on. I went and spoke with everyone.
The
You know,
acceptance at first can be scary, huh?
yeah, and I'm a very with my friends. No, I'm out there. I like to, but with people that I don't know, usually I'm a little bit,
Shy.
But when I got there, I said no. I have to meet people. I have to, It was amazing. It was fantastic, and the comments. For instance, I have my first ever agent. I met her at the Atlanta, Liz Atherton,
Liz, we love Liz.
and I love Liz, and I went and spoke with her, and without having a clue who she was. I didn't know who people were in Vio Atlanta, And when I finished, I said, okay, bye-bye. And someone came to me and said, do you know who you're speaking with? And I said, yeah, Liz. Do you know who Liz is? Yeah, it's Liz. I
It's
just met her.
Liz, yeah.
That was amazing. And I heard people say, if you know an agent, you have to don't go and push things, like, here's my card, do this, I do that, like, take it easy. And with Liz, for instance, it worked the other way around. It was Liz that called me when in a moment where she was drinking some water and I was passing mine and say, hi, how are you? And she handed me her card and said, if you ever need something, here you have it. And it was amazing. It was fantastic. And I met amazing people. Oh, I don't want to miss names, but
there's a lot of us.
Jeffrey Umberger, Cliff Zalman, oh God, Tim Tippett. Oh man, I learned so much with Tim Tippett at VO Atlanta, and a lot of people. J. Michael. And sorry for not everyone that I admire truly, but most of all, I met face to face and I hugged my long friends from the internet that, thank mainly to those three, Bev, Jody, and Patty, I was there, And the first person that received me was Sophia Cruz.
So what you're saying is you had a horrible experience at VO Atlanta and you would never go.
I was the first one to get there, the last one to leave.
Man, that's
literally.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's how does that feel though, to have like a community like that just like we just accept you with open arms, and
that's fantastic.
Nobody's pretentious and nobody's like, you might go, oh, you know who that person is, but they're not acting like that. They're just like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
What's up? Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
It's like Jen when she met Dave Fenoy.
Yeah. Same. Yeah, she shared that story on this show. Yeah.
Dave Fenoy was sitting, drinking something, and I came behind him and said, hi, Dave. How are you? My name is Humberto. I'm from Portugal. How are you? And we talked for 20 minutes. That's it.
Yeah. I did the same thing with Everett Oliver. I was like, hi, Everett, I'm Jared. And he tased me. I'm like, well, shit.
He said, I'm that kind of bitch. Don't leave me alone.
I love our community, man. That's one thing that's not really, it's talked about enough, but like there's not a whole lot of testimonials out there about how much it reaches every person. Cause I'm the same on that one. I've got a lot of, Steven too, with people you've named. So don't worry about name dropping because they get dropped on here quite a bit. There's a reason for it.
Most of those people have been on the show already.
And talking about Everett Oliver, I have a funny story with him because I never met him face to face.
I have endless stories.
Never. And Everett, I started to send him, like via Facebook, some hi Everett, I'm Humberto, blah, 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 blah. And after a while, I worked with him and he said, at the beginning, I thought you were a stalker. So and I said, whatever, come on. And nowadays he's an amazing guy. He's texting me saying, how are you? How are you feeling? We have to talk. And sometimes we chat, which is amazing. That's fantastic. That is very, very nice.
It's shocking how many real human beings there is in this industry that don't care. They don't want anything from you. They want you to feel loved. They want you to feel a part of something. And they get super pissed off if they don't know something's wrong because they're your family.
And they're willing to help.
A lot of us have experienced that kind of in our youth or whatever, but the not being accepted so much. So to have this 180 it's amazing for me and everyone else we've talked to. So I'm right there with you.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Well,
and
the only thing I have to compare it to is like the music industry. And the music industry is like a total opposite of what the voice community is. So the music community is like, it's your problem. You figure it out.
Yeah.
You got this. No, the VO community is just so accepting and supportive.
And for instance, this past year and some months now, with COVID, a lot of people lost work. And I was lucky to have people in my life, VO friends, that were like, do you have work? Here's some audio for you to edit. Can you help me with this? And maybe they didn't need it to do. Maybe they didn't need to do that. But now I have people that I work in a regular basis doing their editing. They say, I don't even listen back. I send it to you, you edit, and it goes directly to my client. And when a VO colleague trusts his work like that to you, that is an honor, and that is a lot of responsibility.
That's true. Very true.
You both know something about that. You little production crazy people that I love so much. You know what does make me mad? I'm gonna pick up on both y'all right now. What makes me mad is when you guys make it look so easy, because like I can do it, but it's still not like woohoo. But then I'm like, oh look, it's Harry Potter. That's cute. And I'm over there looking like a half a Dumbledore. It's not cool. That's something I definitely you guys rock on that, the production side. So
that's a lot of work.
If I could learn, anyone can learn. You just have to be curious. You just have to be curious. And then you have to have, want to top yourself.
Dedication.
Every time. Dedication, a lot of dedication. A lot of hours trying, failing, trying, failing, trying, failing. I'm not the best, I do my stuff. Many of the things that I do, for instance, on editing, it's intuition, to see the rhythm, to see the pace,
having an ear is huge.
But for instance, technically it's not that easy. I had a big help. For instance, Tim Tippett's taught me a lot of technical things that nowadays I apply every single day. That changed, that opened my eyes. A lot of stuff I do like I did before, but you learn, you live, learn, and apply. And like there's some mix that I can do my way and Stephen can do his way. And when we talk, I'll get some of the information he gives me, he gets some of my information, and our working process is going to adjust to this new perspective, and
making
it may
each
work
other better.
Yeah.
I like that perspective. I'm going to change up the gears. I'm going to shift it, and I'm going to not let you escape without me asking a ridiculous question. Yeah. And my question is, what is your favorite comfort food and drink?
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a wine drinker. I love a good Portuguese red wine with food. And then you have traditional Portuguese foods that are amazing. Fantastic.
That's why I asked. Tell me about it, like in descriptive.
Okay.
Like you're a narrator now. Take me through the food book.
Okay. There's a food called feijoada.
Oh my lord.
Feijoada basically is white beans, carrot, the stomach of the pork,
Ooh.
the bacon. In Portugal, we basically eat literally all the pork. Nothing, no waste. And you have you have leitão assado. Leitão assado is roasted pig, but the smallest one, with a crunchy, crispy skin, like, sorry, vegetarians, but it's like, I'm a meat guy. I'll try vegetarian, but I'm more a meat guy. Like that kind of, for instance, people from Oporto, they are called tripeiros, which is translated tribe people. Why? Because the area where Portugal is now, that was basically North Arab country. The north of Africa, they're called the Moors. They colonized the whole Iberian Peninsula. So the King of Spain, and this is now I'm teaching history. The King of Spain gave a small portion of land to one of his generals that became the father of the first Portuguese king. So from that small piece of land, people started to conquer the territory in Portugal. Because the soldiers needed food to be strong, and people from Oporto would kill pigs, send all the meat to the soldiers, and kept only the tripes, the ears, the nose, all the things that were not that energetic to the soldiers.
Everything but the oink.
Yeah.
The oink and the boink. Hey, girl.
So they become experts how to cook that meat. And that's where the dobrada tripas à moda do Porto. That's how it's called. Tripa à moda do Porto.
And you wash it all down with some port wine. Fantastic.
No, Porto wine is for dessert. With some sweet, because Porto wine is called a noble wine. It's strong and extremely sweet. And with dessert, with a small glass, with a finger like this, ooh, that's fantastic.
That's why they call me portly, right?
No, I drink port like this.
Oh God!
It's much
you
easier.
Drink once. You drink
much
once
better
a
than
month.
that.
And that's the worst hangover. It's Porto wines.
Oh, I thought it was champagne with all those damn bubbles.
No. Forget it. You get so dehydrated with getting drunk with a Porto wine. No, but that's the traditional food, and that's comfort food. That's, oh God, so amazing.
Awesome.
And
That's
I'm
the
giving
best
you
answer I've
only
had.
this one. I'm giving you only this because that's from the city where I was born in. Because there are a lot.
And he can go all day with this.
In Aveiro is more. It's a fisherman city,
Mm-hmm.
and you have like eel,
Yeah,
codfish. Codfish is the Portuguese national dish. Codfish.
cod.
You
Nice.
have a book that it's called 1001 Ways of Cooking Cod.
Look what I have done.
Yeah.
I love
I'm
fish.
so
It's
sorry.
awesome. It's awesome.
As you can see, I'm a very thin guy. I don't like to eat it.
Oh, I could double as the number 0. Oh, show.
Silly
No doubt
man.
about it.
So, Humberto, you never went to like engineering school or anything like that. You just learned on the fly. Is that correct?
Yeah.
On the job training.
Yes. I lived in outside Portugal for a couple of years. I lived in Scotland for a couple of years, and I thought when I went there to say, maybe I'll try to, because I had the University of Scotland really close by. I said, maybe they have like an audio engineering course degree. But then when I started to read what I had to study, and I said, no.
You said no. I'm not doing that.
That is tough. Like that is not doing audio editing like I do. That's just another whoa.
I can tell you it's a pain in the ass. So
God,
I went
that's an
through it.
engineer.
I
degree.
graduated in '94, so it was
God,
not
man.
fun.
My family also already has an engineer, so we don't need another one. My father is an engineer, so that's leave
True.
it as it.
True. Well, I know Jared has another question.
I do. Well, it was going to be more on the advice train. Everyone has a different walk, and actually, I got two questions. I'll kind of go with this one first because you're such a ray of damn sunshine all the time. I want to know, or if you can briefly tell me about a time that was pretty rough on you, that like it took you, really digging deep, not only for yourself, but maybe somebody else helped too. Just a tough time that if it would have been really easy to give up, that you just didn't, that you were stronger than that. So
I can say this past year has been really, really tough because out of the blue, last year in August, I had some vacation with my daughter. We went up to the north, almost to Spain. And the day we came back from vacation, my ex-wife, her mom, got the news that she had breast cancer. And that was just a hit to the stomach. At the time I was living with my parents down in Aveiro, and it was tough. I said, like, I have to be close to them. I can't leave them alone. I need to be there for anything that comes up. So I rented this place where I'm now. I'm like 5 minutes walking from their place, and I changed my life to be around. Honestly, I don't feel I did anything special. I did what a friend would do. Thank God her treatment went well, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and all of that. She's okay. And, because one bad thing doesn't happen by itself only. When she finished her treatment, I got the news that my father has bladder cancer. So, it's one after the other. And, I just have to be here to help. And man, life goes on. Just doing my best to help everyone. And, many times just being there for a hug is more than enough to give some strength, It's complicated. I joked around with my ex saying, like now she lost all the hair because of the chemotherapy. And now I say, now you have more hair than me. Come on. That's what the hell, and we joke around. We try to make things lighter, but I can't even imagine the pain and the thoughts that go through someone's head when they go through a process like this. And it's tough. It affects you, even if you try to distance yourself from that, it still affects you. And and it was complicated. The first, now I have internet. For 4 months, I was waiting for the internet to be installed.
Oh Lord.
So for 4 months, I didn't have internet. I could not work. I had to refuse. I didn't audition. I had agents asking me, I had a project here for English and Spanish. Why didn't you apply? Why didn't you audition? I couldn't. I could go to a studio and pay to audition. And if I get the job and the studio is busy,
Right.
it doesn't allow me to record. What do I do? Man, I prefer not to audition. And, but yeah, this last year has been really complicated.
I really do appreciate you sharing that with me and everyone, and I hope things continue to go in your favor, or at least as they things transpire, that they're not as rough all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So on the back end of that question, which is, oof, what's just a piece of life advice, not even voiceover, because Stephen can ask that question in a minute, but like life advice, like what's something that can get you through, or just something you would tell anybody that's kind of growing through, since you're just maybe not even coming out of it, but fresh off of it. Like, what's a piece of life advice that I can get from you to share with everyone?
Oh man, it's it's easy. If you need help, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be ashamed. You know, if you don't ask for help, many people, with the life we have nowadays, where you open Facebook and you see like, this is my breakfast, hey.
Yeah.
And that's a 2 hour, session to prepare everything for just a picture. Come on, life is not that. And you don't have to be bothered with other people's success.
Correct.
Be happy for them. I I have people that they were not correct or fair with me, and I hope nobody does that to you too. Just it's many times it's tough, because not all the time you give the other cheek, but be humble. Man, we're just on vacations in this planet for a so short amount of time. Like the other day I was driving with my daughter, and she started to, she's a teenager. She's going to be 15. Sometimes teenagers, their job is to study and to annoy the parents. That's their job, and I told her, I'm not going to be annoyed with you, because tomorrow I could be dead, and I don't want to have been like, fighting with you would be the last thing I would do on this planet. I don't want that. I I want to. I try many times. I fail. I try to be kind to everyone. I try to give my best. I'm trying to be always available. But ask for help if you need help. Ask for help. Don't even care what other people think about you.
Screw them.
Yeah.
No,
Thank
I
you
agree
very
with
much.
you. I agree totally
Steven?
with that. Yeah, 'cause-
I'm asked all my questions. I'm going to hand it over to Steven, and then we'll. Whew,
yeah, I mean,
this is
just
good.
to kind of expand on that, I truly believe that you should ask for help if you need something, and not try to. I mean, and like I tell Jared all the time, if we're by ourselves, we're half as strong, and we're together, we're twice as strong.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a reach out and get some help if you need it.
Yeah,
Jared
because we
has a
all
real
go
big
through.
problem asking for help sometimes.
He
No,
really
but
does.
yeah, I know. And many times, a couple of times that I saw, man, Jared, I love you, brother. How
I
many
love
times?
all. That's what's
Yeah,
crazy, is that we love each other so much, and I have so much
yeah.
love in my heart for everyone. But I can't sometimes find the reason why anyone wanted to do that for me. Isn't
Man,
that's just weird?
because
What?
because because you're a nice guy, because you deserve it, because you're a beautiful soul.
Thank
You're
you.
not perfect. You're
No.
not perfect. You have, like Stephen and me and everyone. We're never perfect. Perfection does not exist.
Right.
And I'm many people say, like I'm very picky. Like I am very picky. I try to reach perfection, but perfection does not exist.
You gotta
And it's
strive for it.
like, it's be kind, be humble. Don't be a pain in the butt. Don't be an asshole when I'm better than you. What? You're not better than me. When you go to the bathroom, you shit yourself like everyone. Come on, that's it.
And that's always
Yeah.
a fun time in the evening.
Bloop.
What do you
That's
think?
awesome.
That rich people, when they fart, they smell like Roses.
Roses.
Oh, come on.
No, but I got a
No.
bidet, and I won't ever go back.
Yeah.
I like the butt water gun.
The butt wash. Nice.
Oh God, I just remembered such a bad joke about bidets.
Oh no.
Not
This
in
is
the
a family show. No, it's
show.
not.
Not in the show. I'll tell you guys at the end.
It's not a family show. I'm just kidding.
What kind of water fountain is this?
Yeah, but that's very European.
Yeah,
The bidet.
it's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Us Americans, yeah, we're kind of like, the hell? Just paper it up. What's the problem?
Mm.
Wipe
like
your
destroying
butt with
things.
wood particles.
Y'all don't got no brawny? This is bullshit.
Yeah, this conversation is turning like a shitty conversation.
As the show tends to
It is
go.
to do sometimes, you know, it is what it is. Steven,
Oh,
you
man.
got anything else?
I would just need to be able to tell people where to find Humberto Franco.
ending on a high note, right?
And ending on a high. And on that note, where can we find Humberto Franco?
Well, you can find me online. You can contact me through my websites,
Let's hear him.
humbertofranco.com.
I'm sorry, I interrupted. Did you say that one more time?
humbertofranco.com.
Beautiful. Anything else?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook and I'm on LinkedIn, and and if you don't know me personally, you can contact me through my friends.
Nice. Are you on TikTok as well? Doing
No,
dance
man.
moves? And...
No, my daughter, I like to see some of the TikToks, but my daughter, she's the one that's more a TikTokian person. than me.
TikTokian. I like that.
TikTokian.
So
I'll put my turtles on there.
my last question is there a lot of need for camouflage where you're at? I just want to know that right now.
No, man, this is like, because I'm a very top modelish body kind of guy.
Voluptuous. Botticelli.
Yeah. That's it.
Hell yeah.
That's great, man.
Meatball.
That's a great, huh? That's a great.
Oh, I love you guys. Y'all are
Anyway,
great.
I
No,
just
this is just like a t-shirt that,
No, I just
I
had
didn't
to throw it.
prepare too much, I
I'm
had
just
my
a silly-
tuxedo, but my tuxedo is on the dry cleaning, so that's why
Right.
I had to put
It's
this.
on the other side of the shirt. You just flip it over.
I got that shirt.
I got that shirt. Oh God, you got that shirt on again.
I do.
Dun, 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 dun.
Ask me about my
Come
ninja
on,
disguise.
ask him. Go ahead and ask him. Go ahead, Humberto.
You want to see my ninja disguise?
Yeah, I want to see your ninja disguise.
Wait, there's no disguise. Something happened in your preparation. Try it again. There we go.
Oh, nice.
Higher. Lift it up, lift it up, lift it up. Oh, we missed it. Oh, higher, higher. There we go. Beautiful.
Oh, how you guys do it?
He's a very silly man.
Jim Henry got me that shirt.
What a
It's
very small
completely her fault.
brain.
Oh,
Well,
God.
guys, if I don't stop this nonsense, no one's going to. So
That's true.
that's another episode of VO in Stereo. Jesus.
Stereo. I like
Thank
that.
you so much for Humberto being here. As always, my co-pilot, Steven, and I'm Jared. And yeah, we're going to see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Oh, dear Lord.